Well, hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. This is video number 60 in our series of Elsie Lincoln Benedict's book, How to Get Anything You Want, the 60th installment of this. If you missed any of the previous videos, there's the playlist on the YouTube channel. If you are not already on YouTube and you're on Facebook or anywhere else, hop on over to YouTube. We are growing our community, and I am so grateful. So thank you for being here. We are reading this whole book together. We're learning together how to get anything we want by using our subconscious mind. Okay. So I'm reading this whole book. We're reading it together. I'm telling stories. I'm teaching a little bit, and I hope you're enjoying it. So this is a fun community. Welcome. We left off yesterday with rule number 8. She says, do not fail to practice your formula every day. Your affirmation, your auto-suggestion, your incantation, your positive words, your sentence that is going to keep your subconscious mind in order in the right direction of what we want. All right. So it's like your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. What are you growing in the garden of your mind? What seeds are you planting over and over and over? Don't fail to practice your formula every day and as many times a day as you can without interfering with your regular activities. Kind of like habit stacking is basically, she said, when you're waiting for your taxi, when you're waiting in an elevator, when you're waiting on hold on the phone or whatever, practice your statement over and over. She says, at such times, instead of growling, working yourself up into a nervous state, or saying the things that aggravate the situation, grasp this opportunity to concentrate on your formula. So use any idle time to focus on what you want. Observe, be aware, and focus your attention on what you want in those moments. It's like training your mind. It's a mind training. In 1 year's time, such a habit would enable you to not only make great headway toward what you want, but it would remake your disposition, your facial expression, and your chances in life. I have found that the capitalization of these off moments serves a triple purpose in that it keeps us reminded of the good and strong in us instead of the bad and the weak. It holds the switches in the right direction. It remakes our predominant feelings, and besides all these, produces other helpful effects, some of which are too deep and far-reaching to be explained here, but which hopefully and permanently affect our whole lives. Wow, that's where we ended off yesterday. So remember, it was the first chapter in this book. Your predominant moods make your life, your emotions, your feelings, aka your vibrational state. Your vibration, which is another way of saying your mood, your feelings, your attitude, will dictate your life. If you've heard about the law of attraction, that is a secondary law. The primary law is the law of vibration. How we vibrate will attract to us like vibratory patterns. Your emotions are your magnet. Your heart is your magnet. That's why it's so important not to dwell for too long in negative emotional states. Life will happen. There will be down times, right? We have peaks and valleys, but don't pitch a tent in the valley. You're human. You're going to have low emotions, but low emotions are not, no emotion really is here to stay, but especially low emotions. Don't dwell in the low emotions. It's like being in a dark hole. It's like being in quicksand. We should want to get out of it immediately. And mostly we do because it doesn't feel good. And so remember, our emotions are just feedback as to what's going on in our mind. And so when we're in pain, emotional, psychological pain, it's our body's alarm system that something's wrong, that we need to pay attention and move through it, heal it. It's not healthy for our system to stay constantly in a state of upset. It wears on our nervous system. It's like an electrical wiring system. It can short circuit. It can break down. That's when we have panic attacks and anxiety attacks and so many other things. I've been through all of it. It's not a fun place to be. There is another way, but we have to be willing. We had a great call today in the mentorship program at the Napoleon Hill Institute. Every Tuesday, we have a big mentorship call. I got to teach it today. And we were talking about secondary gains, why we hold on to our pain, to our problems, to our trauma, to our anger. And we were really diving deep. Why do we hold on to our pain? Because if we let it go, it's like we're invalidating it. We're not honoring it. And you've heard me talk about before, please do not honor your emotions. Validate them, recognize them, and move on from them. But we have this twisted idea that the more we hold on to our emotions, it's like we're validating them. I mean, it's like we're yeah, honoring them, validating them. And yes, you that's a thought that you might think, but that's not what's really happening. We're just continuing to play that note of pain over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And for what? You know, it's just hurting ourselves. Remember, your subconscious mind does not know if someone else outside of you is making you feel the way you're feeling. It has no idea. It only knows you. And so it behooves us to really regulate our emotional life. And we can get addicted to certain emotions. It feels, we have this sense of power when we're angry, when we have road rage. A lot of people are addicted to road rage, right? Cussing people out, flipping people off, honking the horn. It can feel like some sort of relief. It's like you get a hit, it's a fix to be angry and judgmental and critical and gossip, right? There's so many negative things that we can become addicted to. Our brain, our body is a pharmacy. It is producing chemicals, neurotransmitters, hormones, and our thoughts are the things that affect those. When we're afraid, when we're worried, when we're stressed out, we are pumping cortisol and adrenaline all through our body and our system. When we're thinking about beautiful things, when we just feel so peaceful, you know, we have beautiful dopamine, serotonin, you know, that bonding. Why does that one word always slip my mind? It'll pop right up. It's that bonding hormone. And I don't know why that one always slips my mind. It's when it'll come to me. Wow, I need to write it down. I don't know why that, you know, maybe it just slips from my mind because I keep saying that it always slips from my mind. Oxytocin, is that what it is? Wow, it just floated right back in. Oxytocin. Yeah, that. And of course, we're going to feel all the emotions and have all of those things wash over us all day long. But what's our predominant moods? What are we feeling predominantly? Oxy freaking tocin. Why does that always slip my mind? No, it doesn't. It's always on my mind. I always remember it. It's amazing and it's easy to remember. Okay. All right. So it can affect our whole lives. Rule number 9. In addition to these, avail yourself of a well-known and effective plan by expressing your formula or affirmations the moment you are awake in the morning. First thing in the morning. No matter what troubles you may be facing, let this formula come first. Even though you don't feel like it, even though you're stressed, even though it's the last thing you want to do, just repeat it. Start to repeat it. Start to listen to it or write it down, right? She gave us a bunch of different ways, whatever fits you best, but focus on what you want first thing in the morning. Life is going to continue to happen and you can direct your mind wherever you want. So no matter what's going on, say your formula first, say it, write it, think it, feel it, or otherwise dwell upon it for a few moments before permitting yourself to go on to the consideration of anything else whatsoever. I've been trying to do this more and more, just the moment I wake up, not checking my text, not checking my email, not checking my social media, that's for sure. I'm pretty good at that. But for me, it was like my texts and my emails, like the messages, because, you know, the team that I work with, everybody's on the East Coast, or Europe time. So everybody's ahead of me, at least by 3 hours. And so they're already in their work day and, you know, starting work. And there's a lot of messages already by the time I get up. And so it's very tempting for me to want to get right to it. But I know myself, and that is not me taking charge of my nervous system in the morning or my mindset in general and starting my day off on the right foot. So that is something I'm still working on. I'm pretty good at it now, just trying to set boundaries because once you see a message or you get an email, it's like off to the races. There you go. It's like there's no going back now. You're already in your day. You can't go back to, I mean, of course you can reset, right? But it's like it's easier when you have a smooth, sacred space to think about what you want. Fill your mind with what you want. Build yourself up. Get strong. Pray up and then go into your day. It's like ensuring that you're going to be safe no matter what happens throughout your day. It's like locking, it's like setting the alarm on your nervous system. No one's going to break into this today, you know? There was this great metaphor. This woman was talking to some, I think it was Marianne Williamson actually, when she used to have live lectures in Los Angeles. And she used to use this as an example when people would stand up and say, I get up and I go out through my day and I do my Course in Miracles and I do all my stuff and I'm a good person and blah, blah, blah. Why do this always happens? I just feel at the end of the day that I'm just like ravaged with like stress and anxiety and people taking advantage of me and blah, blah, blah. I can't keep my boundaries. And I remember Marianne Williamson said to this person, did you do at least 5 minutes of quiet time in the morning and like set your intention? And the person said, no, I haven't been doing that. And she said, well, why does it surprise you? She used the metaphor of it's like leaving your house without locking the door. And you leave your house, you did not take the time to lock the door and shut the windows, and you go out all day. And then you come home at the end of the day to find your house completely ransacked, the doors flung open, all of your precious belongings are gone, and you're shocked that somebody robbed you when you left everything wide open and unlocked. That's like us. Why are we surprised at the end of the day when we feel taken advantage of, boundaries crossed, not respected, stressed out, and worried when we did not do anything before we entered our day to take care of our energy and our spirit and our mindset? Like, lock the doors before you go out, like metaphorically, like lock the doors. Psh, psh, no one's getting in here today, right? I am protected. I will go out, I will deal with the world and things will happen, but it ain't getting in here, baby. There's another great metaphor of a ship. A ship does not sink because of the water around it. It actually floats. A ship only sinks because of the water that gets in it. That's like us. Picture yourself as a vessel, as a ship. You're good if you do not let the water, the outside world, get into your vessel. The moment you let the water in, the outside world, other people's energies and the negative thoughts from you and other people, once you let the effects of the outside world get into your vessel and ship, you going down. It's like Titanic, baby, It's like, what do we expect? Nobody's going to do it for us. And again, it doesn't have to be some long yogi meditation ritual. It could be 5 minutes, 2 minutes, just sitting there and imagining. Another great teacher, I love her so much, Carolyn Mace. She says, pretend there's a drawbridge. Like you are this castle, there's a moat around you, and you put your drawbridge up. If people are running into your castle, storming the gates, it's like, how they getting in? Your drawbridge is wide open. Of course they're going to run in there. People are going to take advantage because why not? If robbers are walking down a street and there's a house, but everything's locked and there's a house with things wide open, which house are they going to pick? And people can read your energy and it's not conscious. But think about it. It's like people who they want something from someone, they will naturally be attracted to somebody who is porous and wide open. I have to say, it might be a toxic trait that I used to have, but I was the absolute opposite. Like I was stone walled, like a fortress. Like, and it was not good at some point. Like nobody would with me. Like if anybody needed directions, like they would probably look at me and be scared. Like I was not available. And that's not very nice, right? Like when I look back, I was not a welcoming abode for anybody, just energetically. I don't know. Maybe it like we talked again about my face, like me always being in my head and having a serious face. Like I did not look very welcoming, probably because I was always anxious and like had this energy around me. People didn't want to be around me or whatever, but I was not the gal you walked up to for advice. I probably, if people probably felt I would have like snapped at them or bit their head off or like I was not the one to come up to. I just was not available. I was not energetically, emotionally available. Isn't that sad? I am now. I'm very kind, very welcoming. But it's like a defense, right? It was totally fear, defense, anxiety, feeling unsafe. So many things. Yeah, very, very interesting. All right, so she's saying the first thing in the morning, say your affirmation, speak out your desires, write them, listen to them, whatever your jam is, and do it before you let anything else into your mind. Do the same thing at night as soon as you are ready to go to sleep, saying your own best beloved statement of desires over and over till you lose consciousness. Ooh, Neville Goddard talks a lot about that. To repeat and to think and to dwell in the space that you truly want from the wish fulfilled before you drift off into sleep. All right. Over and over until you lose consciousness. Okay. The subjective state, which lies between wide awakeness and sleep, is the ideal one for digging out weeds and planting good seeds in the subconscious. Whatever we say over or think about to ourselves at this time goes straight to the subconscious and begins to produce results immediately. So before sleep, during that kind of almost awake and dreamy like state, is a perfect kind of opening to the door of your subconscious mind. This one thing alone accounts for much of the world's misery. Most people use these subjective states for reiterating the very troubles they fear. That's the truth. It's like these subjective open door states of when like the veil is thin and your subconscious mind is very susceptible to plant seeds. We're usually going over our day and worrying about what happened or going over how somebody did us wrong or what we're irritated with, or about tomorrow's troubles and how we don't want to deal with what's going on, or like, oh, I just need to get through tomorrow, just like negative thinking. And we use that precious time just before sleep to plant negative seeds. If you will follow these rules, you will be far better able to meet and vanquish anything that menaces you. If you will follow this plan every day for a month, you will find the number of things which do arise to threaten you will have decreased. Also, you will be surprised to note that many of the things which now irritate you have no longer an effect upon you. All right, let's do one more. Rule number 10. In addition to these unexpected halts, there are others which are forced upon you in your work and activities. There are also certain things you must take time to do every day of your life, in which you do so easily. They use up no mentality. Use these for planting in the soil of your subconscious mind the formula containing your big order. Okay, let me read that again. So, rule number 10. In addition to these unexpected halts, there are others which are forced upon you in your work and activities. There are also certain things you must take time to do every day of your life, and which you do so easily. You do so easily that you use up it doesn't take any like mental capacity to do it. Use these for planting in the soil of your subconscious the formula containing your big order. Think of your hours you have men Think of the hours you have mentally and spiritually wasted during your life up till now, just putting on your clothes, lacing your shoes, and washing your hands. Think of the months it would count up to if you computed the time the average woman spends in doing her hair and the average man in shaving. So she's saying when we're doing these things, I do this, like when I do my mascara, I am early, calm, and prepared everywhere I go. Everything always works out for me in the most miraculous ways. It's like I always listen to positive things when I'm getting ready and doing my makeup and all that stuff. It's like habit stacking. Naturally, we must not neglect these things. Time thus spent is profitably invested, but it could be used for two purposes simultaneously. Again, habit stacking. So when you're shaving, repeating your positive affirmation. Women, when you're doing your makeup or when you're doing your hair, we can be repeating our statements over and over. So doing these simultaneously, we do all these by habit, that is, without thinking or feeling, and little of, if any, mental energy goes into them. That is the truth. But it goes somewhere. The mind is never idle during one waking moment. That's the truth. Your mind is never idle. There is no such thing as a neutral thought, by the way. You know, when people say, I don't do affirmations, I really don't think about that. Like, you thinking about something, that's for sure. Because this ticker is always going. Your subconscious mind is, there is always a ticker tape going on, a little record that is playing 24/7. You're not aware of it. And it's usually the greatest hits of criticism and negativity of yourself or others. Just pay attention to how you feel. Are you at peace? Are you loving? Are you joyful? Are you happy about your life? Are you kind of so-so about your life? Are you ecstatic about your life? The way you feel is a direct reflection of the things you got going up in here. You know what? I'm going to repost. I found these videos from last year. Maybe I did them a couple years ago, but I reposted them last year. But it's like in three parts. Actually, I'm going to try to insert the video because I'm pretty sure I put it here on YouTube about living from the inside out. And it was fantastic. I was sitting there watching my own video. I'm like, damn, girl, that's good. I was like cheering myself on. I was like, I forgot. I forgot about this. It was really fantastic. You know, that's what happens. Like, I just teach what I learn and it helps me to remember it more. But I really liked that video I made about living from the inside out. I'll put it here. I learned how to do the pop in. We'll do that. But I think this video has to load first and then I can do it. Anyways, okay. Where are we? All right, so the mind is never idle during one waking moment. What it usually does at these times is more harmful than helpful to us. Exactly what I just said. It is a favorite little time with many people for getting themselves into a stew, wondering if this or that or the other unpleasant thing is going to happen. We should train ourselves from this day onward to use these moments for affirming our personal formula. This kind of repetition will print its orders so clearly upon the subconscious we will see good results immediately. We really are programming. Think about a computer or your phone. You're holding a phone, you're holding an iPad, a tablet, a computer, your TV, whatever. Well, let's just think about a computer and your phone. That is the hardware, the actual physical phone we hold in our hands, right? This is the hardware. The systems that run are the software. It's like you, this is the hardware. And the things we can't see is the software, my mindset, my thought system, the habits, the tape in my head is the software. So when a computer um, is glitching and it's not working properly, it's usually a virus code or something wrong with the software. It needs to be cleaned, it needs to be cleansed, reprogrammed, reset, wiped out, and started again to reprogram. That's exactly what we're doing with our subconscious mind. We truly are the most elite supercomputers. And even as I say that, and I think this all the time, like, is it really that easy? It is. But we get in our own way. We're like, it can't be that easy. You know, I think I was talking just yesterday about, the difference feeling worthy and the whole issue of money and worthiness and going after your goals. And that I speak for myself, have tied in the past so much value. Like, to be wealthy and happy means that you're a good person or you're looked on with favor by God or the universe or whatever you believe in. And that's not the truth. We can live however we prefer. However we prefer. Do you prefer first class or do you prefer coach? Do you prefer front row or do you prefer bleachers? What do you prefer? And then right away we get in our heads, well, what do you mean what I prefer? I can't afford this. And then it's like, why can't you afford it? Well, my job pays this. Okay. Are you able to get another job that pays more? The answer is always yes. It's going to take some skills, right? Even somebody that does not have, I mean, the wealthiest people don't have college degrees or even high school diplomas, some of them, right? If you desire something, you can have it, but you're going to have to put the work in. Think about a fast food. If you're 16 years old and you work in the fast food, it's like you can work your way up to be a manager. You can start selling things online or doing things like this. And if you have a Wi-Fi signal and a pulse at this point, you can do whatever you want. You just have to put the work in and know what you want first, know what you want most. So I go back to like, think of life like metaphorically, like was an airplane. The whole universe existed in an airplane, and there's turbulence. It doesn't matter where you're sitting on the airplane, you're going to experience the turbulence. You can either experience the turbulence in first class or experience the turbulence in coach. There's no difference. The only difference is where you're sitting. So, how do you want to experience life? This is also a thing. We think that people in first class or people in the penthouse don't experience these things. Of course they do. It's how do you want to do life? You're going to learn lessons. You're going to be in pain. You're going to get through things. You're going to have happy moments, sad moments. You're going to have the whole gamut and smorgasbord of life, the buffet of life. It's where do you want to experience it? In the penthouse or in the basement or somewhere in between? You can choose. You can choose. You are not immune. And this is the thing. Poverty is virtuous. Oh, because I live in the basement, bad things aren't going to happen to me, or I'm, bad. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a good salt of the earth, blue collar worker. Um, and a lot of times people are afraid to put themselves in the arena and be in the penthouse because then bad things are going to happen, more money, more problems type of thing. Or they're going to lose out on being a part of communities or whatever. Or they're going to be ostracized. Like, who do you think you are? So many virus codes and so many negative programmings when it comes to status in life. It's like, your life, your soul's journey, from my understanding, this is just me, take what you like, leave the rest. I believe that we are here to learn. This is a school, an earth school. And we can either come to earth school with beautiful pens and beautiful notebooks to take our lessons and assignments, or we can come with parchment paper and old broken pencils. And whatever we came with, we can choose differently once we're here. So maybe you were born into a life of poverty. If you want it to change, you can. Does it take work? Yes. But what do you want? You deserve it. All of the abundance is equally there for everybody else. And I do not deny that it is easier for some people. Yes, it is. There is privilege. And I have been very privileged, and I know that. So I don't mean to deny that whatsoever. But you have to admit, we all have to admit that people, no matter their shape, color, size, creed, affiliation with anything. Look at Peter Dinklage, the guy from Game of Thrones. I don't even know the politically correct um, little people. I'm not sure what they're called. Um, so forgive me, but he is one of the most loved actors, and he's not just in that movie, right? It's like people, little people are seen as like tagged in like, they're a Oompa Loompa, or, just totally characterized as clowns basically. Um, but he's breaking the barriers, and he's in different movies, not just Game of Thrones, but like, he's what's possible for people like him. Gabourey Sidibe, I believe that's how you say her name. That girl, she was on the heavier side and not what society calls typically beautiful. And she speaks about that. Didn't she win? Didn't she win an Oscar? What was the movie she was in? Anyways, and then she was on different TV shows. Is it easier for somebody with a perfect body and beautiful eyes and what society thinks the like, standard of beauty is to get? Sure. Like your standard Hollywood movie star, right? But if you really look at some of the most famous people or like musicians or whatever, like they do not fit that mold. So it's what you truly, truly want. You can be whatever you want, truly, whatever you truly, truly want. Um, in his book, Reality Transurfing, Vadim Zeland talks about, the desires of our hearts, the frail, all these concepts of like pendulums and how we can be programmed to want desires from the outside world, other people's desires, and we don't really want desires from our heart because people can say, "Oh, Carla, you say you can do and be whatever you want." Well, I want to be a hockey player. I want to win the Stanley Cup, but I have one leg or whatever. And if you really, really sat there and said, "Do you truly, truly want that?" Truly from your deep depths of your heart, Vadim Zeland says, and many other people say that, you truly, 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 in your heart of hearts, when you really, really want something and you believe you can have it, you can. But when you want something for other reasons, and there's a part of you that doesn't truly believe you can have it, it's not going to happen. But it's rare that in our heart of hearts, in our heart and soul, that we want something, truly, truly want something that we don't believe and know that somehow we can do it. We might not ever do it. We might not put the work into it. But the true dreams of your heart that keep knocking at the door and never let you sleep, they're possible for you. It's just we have to answer that call. And here's another pet peeve of mine. When people say, what's meant for you can't miss you. I call big BS on that. Yes, it can. And it does. And that's really sad. People don't want to hear that, And I see things so matter of fact and objectively that blanket statements like that, if it's meant for you, it's not going to miss you. What's for you will find you. Not if you're screwing around and doing drugs and drinking alcohol. No, it won't. You're going to die at 30, you're going to get buried, and your life is going to be over. Yeah. Isn't that sad? It happens all the time. And people don't want to talk about that. They just put up nice quotes that say, what's meant for you will find you. What you want is seeking you. I'm sure it is, but if you are not home, you're not going to be there to receive the delivery. It will never get you. What does Les Brown say in Other People? Like the biggest treasures and the greatest um the graveyard is where the best dreams go to die. Yeah. And what's the study of the person that was in the hospice ward? How many regrets were there of the dying people that their dreams never came true? But we don't really like to talk about that. It's morbid to some people, but it's the truth. You know, if you do not, and take what you like again and leave the rest, if there's something that you want and there's something that you desire, go for it 100%. Go all in, believe, surround yourself with people. Don't just think that it's going to fall into your lap. That was me. I thought, I'm a good person. Surely life is it's going to come sometime. No, it won't. You know what? I told you guys that I went and saw Harry Potter the other night. Um, but I love that scene. So it was, I think, movie number 3, The Prisoner of Azkaban. And if you're not to Harry Potter, you can fast forward this part. But it's the one where Hermione has the time thing spinner and then they go back in time and then they, switch things so that the outcome can be better and they could save people's lives. Anyways, there's the scene at the end where Harry Potter is with Sirius Black, the prisoner of Azkaban, Sirius Black, his godfather. And he is trying to save his life because the Dementors are there and he's saying, expecto patronum, but he's like passing out and the Dementors are just like sucking the life out of them. And across the river, he sees, which he thinks it's his father, saving him with the patronum charm, curse or whatever, or potion, whatever, spell. Um, but it's really him. And when they go back and play the thing, he goes, my dad's going to come. I know someone's going to come. And he's watching this scene play out and he's seeing them die. And Hermione's like, I don't think anyone's coming, Harry. Like, I don't think anyone's coming. I think it's you, boo. And it is. And that's always us. It's like a great metaphor for life. It's like you're the one that's going to save you. Will people help you? Sure. But at the end of the day, you know, when you kind of are in a group of people who like have an assignment at school, if you're ever in an assignment, you're kind of like, okay, who's going to take charge here? Like, who's going to be the one? There's always that one person that always like takes the lead. But that's like life. You're kind of like waiting for someone to take the lead. And the joke is it's you. Like you're the one that's going to take the lead. If you don't, no one will. So I just wanted to share that because that's something that I fell prey to. I believed that, oh, what's meant for me will find me. I can't miss it. Yes, I can, and I did. A lot of things. But the beautiful thing is that once I got it together, things started falling into place. And if you're willing and you're ready, you know, what's truly, truly meant for you will always come to you, but you have to be ready for it and work for it and set yourself up for success. We're not entitled to anything. You know, it's really humbling. It really is. I was such an entitled, prideful brat victim. Man, it was so bad. Yeah, it was incredible. Anywho, I hope you're enjoying the free event that we have at the Napoleon Hill Institute. Today was day 2. We had David Meltzer on, the chairman of the Napoleon Hill Institute, and it was just so beautiful. He shared about his mother and it was really powerful. Yesterday we had Dr. Joe Vitale. All the information's below in the description box on my YouTube video. If you want to sign up, it's totally free for 4 days. So we have 2 more days, tomorrow and Thursday, and yours truly has been introducing and doing a little emceeing. So I will be there. Take advantage of that. The replays are up on YouTube on their channel, Napoleon Hill Institute. Check that out. What else? I have a few spots left open for my release to receive. It's a 4-session package. It's like therapeutic coaching. I use EMDR, IFS, internal family systems to really unblock anything that's standing in your way when we're talking about, you know, our mental attitude and if anything's happened to us, right? Any heartbreak, any bad break that we've gotten in life, even tragedy, even trauma, if you're having a hard time getting over it. I am a licensed psychotherapist and I love to work with people in that way of really unblocking them, releasing, forgiving things that have been hard so that they can open up and receive what's meant for them. So that's my release to receive. It's a 1-to-1 4-session package. So that is below as well. Also, human design. I love me some human design. If you don't know what that is, please look it up. I have a video on my playlist too about that. Yeah, a lot of good things are coming. And of course, we have our mentorship program, which is a big full immersion personal development program that is truly life-changing. We also have 2 weeks free of the self-discipline camp. So you could go to the website, napoleonhillinstitute.com. But if you're at the event, you'll see the barcodes and everything to sign up for that and the coupon code and all that jazz. I hope you're enjoying this book. I sure am enjoying all of you here. Thank you again. I think I have y'all. Let's see. So I hit the 3,000 mile milestone, which allowed me to be a YouTube partner. And when you hit 4,000 hours, that is like the last milestone. I believe you can start having, I don't know, you unlock something else. But I can start offering merchandise like a mug. I'm gonna start like offering cute mugs with like I don't know, just my Carla-isms on them. That'll be so fun. So exciting. Just fun things, making life fun. But let's see, how many hours do I have left? 156 hours. So those are watch hours that I have to accrue. So it's 4,000 hours, and right now I have 3844. So I have 156 hours. I'm hoping, so it's Tuesday. I'm hoping that by the weekend, by Saturday, I meet this milestone and we'll celebrate together, y'all. I'll get a sparkling water and we'll pop some Perrier. But anywho, go forth and prosper, y'all. Do what your soul wants to do. You can do it. You can do anything that you want, truly. If anybody tells you otherwise, I'll kick their booties, okay? Please leave your comments, your shares, whatever stood out to you. And if you want to work with me, reach out. I will see y'all mañana.